We've automated about 50 agencies in the last year at Ops Kings. A lot of them were using either ClickUp or Airtable to run their business before they came to us. And I'm going to talk you through the major differences between ClickUp and Airtable, the types of business systems where I actually think you should use either ClickUp or Airtable, and maybe the cases where neither of these tools is the best thing for you. So primarily we're talking about keeping track of client work here. So that's maybe the use case that I'll talk through. So ClickUp, as we know, is mostly the model it's based on is projects and tasks. So I'll call this tasks and projects, right? So you may be used to thinking about your business and the work that you have to do for a client in that term. So you might say, well, we have to make a website for this client or build a landing page. And we got to build a landing page and have the design phase and the copy phase, and there's a task for the client feedback. There's a task to implement it. There's a task to have a strategy call with the client. There's this task to check the analytics after we're done. And so the advantage of, or like the sort of model of a task and project, I think if you're using tasks and projects to track the work that you have for clients, it's best done when that is super different every single time. So let's say sometimes you make a landing page, and then the next client, maybe you do Facebook ads, and the next client, or the next time, you're kind of like a freelancer and you haven't solidified your offer yet. You're still very much experimenting. A task model is great for experimentation, right? Airtable is a little bit different in what you can do with it. So it's not a pre-configured piece of software where it's only tasks and projects. The way that we set up Airtable is, I would call this like a production line. So almost envision a business and say, okay, we're making a website, but we're making a website in the same way every single time, and we primarily make websites. So if you have a service business and you have your offer or your process pretty nailed down, Airtable is a great tool for that, because you can process line or assembly line, right? So think about this as very, very, very custom, bespoke stuff, and think about this as pretty regimented. So when you're a freelancer, you're probably over here. Once you figure out your business and you've got a few people working for you, and you have a very consistent thing in terms of your process, you're probably better off going with a tool that allows you to narrow it down and define, like, okay, a website entity moves through these stages. The advantage or the difference, again, with tasks and projects and a process line is we're talking about very flexible, which flexibility is actually a bad thing when you have your process pretty narrowed down. So over here we have rigid, which also allows you to have a lot of speed because of that rigidity. And so, for example, if you wanted to produce, if you're producing content for companies, or you make landing pages, or you do SEO, if you do SEO in the exact same way every time and you have a team of 10 or 50 people, over here, you're going to have a team of 20, 50 people that's going to be very successful because you lock down your process, right? So you have lots and lots and lots of speed here. We find, like, if you have a pretty rigid process, using a flexible tool for a rigid process, you're going to have people making mistakes because it's possible to make mistakes, and you're going to have a lot of time spent on project management stuff. Okay, so that's if you have a pretty rigid process. You would probably want to go Airtable. Cases where you'd want to use ClickUp, or actually places in your business where you need a lot of flexibility in terms of defining tasks and projects. So over here you might say, I've got my 20 clients over here. Each 20 clients gets 3 landing pages a month or 10 emails a month or whatever it is. But there's parts of your business that do need to be flexible. So I need to hire 3 more people. I need to open an office in Berlin. I need to fix the website. Every single project in that sense is very different. And so we like to think about this as process versus project over here. Okay? So hopefully that helps you understand the parts of your business where I think ClickUp is a better tool in the parts of your business where I think Airtable is a better tool. There's cases where Airtable is not high volume enough. So if you're doing like, if you want to launch a SaaS company, Airtable is a great prototyping tool, but once you get to like thousands and thousands and thousands of users, you're not going to be using Airtable anymore. There's another tool called actually Supabase that we've tested out. Works pretty good for like in the millions of records over here. So that's ClickUp versus Airtable. Hope you enjoyed that. I do have a 2-hour, if you're interested in implementing Airtable in your business, I do have a massive, like it's a 2-hour long tutorial video on exactly how we do that. And I'll link that right below this video and up here as well, so you can take a look at that.